All right, I Believe is a super fun song that we have for you to play some piano. You have a lot of a really key signature part, specifically in the intro and in between going back into the verses. I'm going to be playing this in the key of A. So your scale tones would be A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A. So whatever you are playing in this key, those are the notes that you'll be using. Each worship leader at different campuses or whoever's leading that point may be playing in different keys. So just make sure you be able to transpose whatever is in this into whatever the respective key that you're going to be playing in for that Sunday. So really the main key point in this song, for the most part, this song is pretty straightforward. You have a lot of block chords that you're playing with a lot of pulsing quarter notes throughout the song. But really, you have a key signature part at the intro going into verse 1, and also going into the intro, going back into verse 2 as well. Let me break that down a little bit for you. So it's the intro part, signature part of this, it begins with a pickup. So what that means is that your notes, you start playing before the downbeat on 1. So in this case, you'd start on beat 4. So if I just count it, just for rhythmically, you're both for your right and your left hands, the rhythm is the same and you're basically identically doing the same thing rhythmically. So if I break down the rhythm for you, it's starting at 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1. And a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. So if I break it down a little bit slower, it's 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. So if you just kind of get that feel of that pulsing 16th notes, that really helps you lock in with that rhythm and the specific piano portion. Let me break down what I'm going to be playing. This is what the piano part sounds like in full if you're playing it. 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3. So let me break that down a little bit for you. The left hand, essentially you're starting kind of outlining the 4 chord, which in my case would be D. So I put 1, 5 in the first 2, so 1. I jump up to the 4 in the octave, and I play the B, which is the 2, and then resolve to the 1. So 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. So essentially that's kind of the core of that left hand, outlining that D chord and then resolving down to that A. Right hand essentially is the same thing. I keep my hand in what I'm basically outlining is a first position D chord. So I'll play the bottom 2 notes. So the 6, 1, and the 6, 4, and then 6, 2, and then a second version, 1 chord. So E, A, C sharp in my sense. So, and putting that by itself, this is how it sounds. 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. Yeah. Let me play that together one more time, and here it sounds. 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, 4, and a 1, and a 2, yeah, and so on. And that kind of shows up again in different parts. Again, like I said before, right before verse 1, and also right after the chorus going back into verse 2. That's where that kind of shows up. So make sure you understand where those parts play out in this song. One other thing that I want you to take note of, at least for this song, is the timing of the instrumental right before the bridge. That is a little bit of a tricky timing of that, and this is really the only part of the song that it really shows up in. So coming out of the chorus, let me play it for you. And I will see your goodness, Lord, in the land I'm living in. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and 3, and 4, and a 1, and a 2. So let me break it down a little bit for you in that. So starting on the instrumental, 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. So what might help you getting into this one is if you count 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1. So if you start with playing that last chord, going into the next one, on that next 16th note, if that might help you at least get into that count. This feel kind of goes throughout the bridge chord, so just make sure you have that timing and that rhythm locked in on this bridge. Why don't I play a little bit of I Believe. essentially you have still that same pulse in that instrumental and that bridge section. There is a little bit of a difference and an extra measure of chords that isn't quite the same, but the rest of it pretty much mirrors that instrumental. Just watch out one thing, we do that whole bridge one time through, and we go through bridge 2, which again has alternate chords, so you want to make sure you lock in and get those chords as well. And that's about it for I Believe.